Hello, hello, my lovely Aries. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Aries. Okay, so we have the orphan and the eternal child and the shapeshifter, the mountain and the crone, and the kiss. Aries. I mean, I feel like the shapeshifting energy is coming through with the orphan and the eternal child because there's a very big difference between like children who have grown up in healthy homes and children who have experienced a lot of trauma and abandonment. And I feel like there's almost this sense of, like the childlike energy that is present, still being present. It's just coming through as a different type of energy. You know what I mean? Like it's like, the little kid who stomps everybody's castles because he doesn't want anybody to be better than him, and you know what I mean. Like versus the little kid who like really really wants to try and build their own castle. You know what I mean? It's like it's a very different energy, and I feel like you're showing up differently. Instead of the little kid who wants to stomp the castle, like you're showing up as somebody who wants to build one. And I feel like even though the energy at the onset, like the case of this energy is very childlike, within that childlike energy, there's a sense of understanding the value of, I guess we'll stick with the sandcastle analogy, but like the value of building a sandcastle, the value of understanding the process of learning through discovery, which is still all very childlike, right? But I feel like this sense of learning through discovery, I don't know, I feel like the sense of like getting to know someone along the way. Like the more we get to know ourselves, the more like the better we are able to understand others. And I just kind of feel like somebody who helped you to really understand yourself, like I just feel this excitement of like, but like this time I want to try it in a healthy way. Like, okay, like last time wasn't a great round. Like this time I want to try it this way, but I still want to try. You know what I mean? Because, and I feel like that's that childlike energy because it's just that like, but I'm still going to try. Like even if I failed the first time, I'm still going to keep doing it until I get it right. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to try again, and I feel like you're ready to try again with an understanding of like why things weren't working the first time and how you can show up with a different sense of value than you had previously. I don't know how this is playing out for you. I don't know if it's a new relationship, if it's a new opportunity, or if it's something that you're revisiting because, it could play out differently for everyone. But I mean, the kiss is kind of the idea of like, it's romance, it's friendship, it's sex, it's passion, it's love, it's knowing that like no matter what, like that person's going to be there to help you. It does. It has very much this sense of like I know that I can trust you to like help me to that next level and not cap me out at where I was because you're there with me through the process of the evolution of who I'm becoming. Aries. That one just like popped off. All on the floor. Okay, Aries. Let's see what we have here for you. Okay, we have Page of Cups, Knight of Swords, Four of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Well, I don't know because I do just kind of feel like this idea of wanting to try again. I want to try again. I know that that was really, really bad. Like my time was bad, my form was bad, my I don't know because I'm just thinking of like if you're in a competition or something and it's about form and skill. I don't know because I was like there's the scene in my head is from a movie, but I don't remember what movie it's from. I want to say like Under the Tuscan Sun, but it's this Polish kid who's competing in this like Italian dance, as like a like to prove that he deserves to be a part of this Italian culture. And it's all very, like form and practice and catching things. And but like he ends up getting distracted and then it like drops on his head and he fails. But like he still is a part of this culture. And I feel like somehow that energy translates here. But in terms of, like the childlike energy of, well, I did it to, like to show that I could do this. But now that I've done that, I mean, I just kind of feel like I've proven it to myself. Like maybe I was trying to prove it to them, but what I ended up doing was proving it to myself, and when I proved that to myself, I felt different about how I was approaching it. And when I feel different in the manner in which I'm approaching it, I feel like there's this sense of it, it's really easy to lay to rest those insecurities because I don't have to prove myself to me anymore. That's not the goal. I did that, right? And so now that I've gleaned all of this understanding, I'm ready I'm ready to try again. I'm ready to approach this as somebody who has the confidence of a healthy perspective and a healthy sense of self. Aries. I love it. It's fantastic energy. Three of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Life Renewed, and Temperance. Well, I mean, I love that because it is. You've put in the work, Aries. You've done a lot of the hard work. I mean, sometimes I think the hardest part is like the getting started because that's when you uncover all of the other things that need to be taken care of too, right? Like you buy a house and you think, oh, I'm just gonna have to, like rip up the carpet and da 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 da. And then you're like, you get in there and you're like, oh God, there's issues with the plumbing and the wiring and there's all this stuff that I have to do and I don't want to have to deal with all of that shit. But you did deal with all of the shit. And when you did that, you came in with a sense of self-confidence, or you're coming in, wherever you are in this energy, with a sense of self-confidence that says, I know who I am now, and I'm not afraid of being abandoned because I'm not enough. And what that does is create a balance in your well, because I think of somebody crossing like a rope, like a tightrope, and if your balance is off and you're wobbling across the thing and you're like trying not to fall, and you know what I mean. But if you're balanced internally, if you found your quiet when you go to step across, you're not trying to gain your balance, like externally. You're creating the balance from within. And I feel like that's changing everything for you. Everything looks different when you feel differently about yourself. And I feel like a balanced version of you creates a balanced version of a relationship with someone, quite possibly. I don't know. Because I don't know. You can be on either side of the story. This could play out for a relationship. It could play out for like a job. Like maybe you go back to a company that you worked with previously and you're like, I know that the last time I was here, things were kind of shaky, but, they're not shaky anymore. And I'm ready to like do this on solid ground, as a solid, like conscious version of myself. Because I feel like it's hard to make a decision when you're not consciously aware of like what it is that you're making that decision for. Why am I making this decision? Am I making this decision for me, or am I making this decision for other people? Am I pursuing what I truly want, or am I pursuing what other people are telling me that I'm supposed to want? Like there's just this sense of like, not because none of it, like none of the choices, none of the things have felt like anything that you've really, really wanted to do, any direction that you've wanted to step in, any relationship that you've actually wanted to be a part of. You know what I mean? And I just kind of feel like this perpetual dissatisfaction. But the perpetual dissatisfaction, I think when you search deep within, like to what is that, like that core issue, that simple little thing that I need to deal with. And I feel like for a lot of my Aries, that simple little thing that you needed to deal with was your own fear of abandonment, your own fear of not being enough. Well, I think oftentimes feeling like you were too much for any given direction, and it's like, how do I feel like I'm too much and not enough at the same time? You know what I mean? Like, how? How is that possible? But when you realize that it's just your own sense of lack of self-worth, your own lack of self-worth, and you work on feeling worthy, everything changes. Everything is different. I feel like opportunities are like they hit different. I don't know. It's good though. The sustainer and the destroyer. Right? How do I feel like I'm too much and not enough all at the same time? For some of my Aries out there, I feel like you contained a sense of contained fights, contained arguing. I feel like behind closed doors, the experience was very different than what it was in front of people. And I think that for some of you, there's this sense of like what happened behind closed doors got exposed. And when it got exposed, there was this sense of like it's going to be destructive, but I don't think that it was actually destructive. I think that what it actually did was bring healing. And when it brings healing, instead of being afraid, I think you just feel confident. You feel confident in the lessons that you've learned. You feel confident in the journey that you've traversed. You feel confident in the value of you. And I think for whatever reason, the destruction that you once feared, the destruction that you once feared has proven to be the very glue that is holding you together in this next endeavor, whatever that is for you as an individual. It's cool. It sounds good. I mean, I feel like it's positive, you know, like it, like the energy doesn't feel like it's in motion yet, but it feels like it's like revving itself up, you know, and you're like, I'm ready for this. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this, like, I know my shit now. I know where my voice needs to be and where, like, how it needs to be pitched and what it, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like things are making so much more sense than they were making before. And I think a destruction that you once feared brought healing that has renewed you in terms of what childlike energy you are embodying now. Love, Aries. I hope this resonates with you. If it does, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.